I'm just gonna sit here and watch you though, by the way.
You have to ask too.
You're very entertaining. I'm gonna ask.
Okay, I think it's going.
Oh, it's going. Okay, Mom.
How do you know?
Cause I can see it in the TV, I see the dot. So Mom, how did you meet Dad?
To an aunt of mine,
Huh?
an aunt of mine that lived a mile down the road from his parents.
Oh, really? She introduced you guys?
Her name was Aunt Takla.
Oh, I've heard you talk about
Oh,
her.
yeah.
Johnny Thomas and Aunt Takla. I don't know where all the kids ended up. I think most of them are up by Minot somewhere. So that's where they moved to.
Oh,
And how long did you guys date? Or court, as it was back then?
Probably 10 months.
Oh, yeah?
ooh, you're fast movers.
And we got married on October 12th, 1954. So ungodly windy out that could blow you away
And where did you guys get married?
in South.
Southbridge, yeah.
3 days to tell cooking the food alone. You had to have chicken noodle soup, and you had to have your coleslaw, and refried chicken.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys do meatballs then too?
Nope. Nope.
So when did the meatballs start happening for weddings? Just whenever?
Just whenever. Because it was mostly chicken, you know, because it was, in the spring of the year, you always butchered your spring chicken, always. I mean, that was something so that they wouldn't get too big and too heavy, so we always butchered your spring chickens. And my mother did a lot of it. She would fry it, she put it in quart jars, and put it in the oven and bake it for an hour. You had meat, chicken meat all winter long. And then, of course, the pork was put in a brine of salt and juice, water. And of course, the beef, you could do that in an ice box. Underneath, that cup cellar.
Oh, the kitchen, the
Cellar.
in the
cellar
cellar.
where you kept ice. You had ice all the time, because we'd pack it in between straw. We'd keep it in summer months because it was underneath farm. And of course, our windmill, I still can't figure that. We had a windmill on the last farm we lived on. Well, we had them on all of them, but this one, we would take a rope, put it on each side of the handles of green cans, and lower them down into the water, into the well. It would stay cold all summer.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It was, and in the winter months, oh my, we weren't in bed at 11 o'clock at night in the weekend. We were out in the hills sledding
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
wow.
till, well, it was always so nice. Moonlight, you didn't need no daylight. The moon was bright enough where you could see where the hell you were going. We'd slide down on a sled and then haul it back up and do it all over.
Oh my gosh.
And this was in North Dakota. Oh, North Dakota.
Yeah, we had a great big hill behind our farm,
Yeah.
and that's where we would, and ice skate, go skating, we had a dam in our pack. And of course, the winter months it would freeze up, so, I mean, back then it was fun. You know,
Yeah,
crazy fun,
yeah.
never hurt anybody.
And there are how many kids? How many kids did you
Well, there was 13, but of course the twins didn't.
Right.
One lived 4 hours and one lived 8 hours. And of course, Mom had hurt herself starting the old washing machine with the motor in it.
Oh.
But that's what we had, was the old, you had to have 2 tubs, one with clear water, one with bleach water.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, and then you had to wring your clothes out and take them outside and hang them up and they freeze as fast. Then when it was time to take them down, you hoped and prayed that they weren't still frozen because they would crack and tear.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
where
didn't
did you
have
fall
no
in there?
dryers.
Where were you in there? In the kids? Second oldest,
Well,
oldest?
And
Oh, that's-
third youngest,
Huh?
third youngest, it was
Third.
Anto, Helen, Agnes, Leo, Frank, Evangeline, then me, and then Joe, and then the twins, and then Uncle Pius, the baby. Yeah, Uncle Pius was his baby.
Mm-hmm.
How many states did you live in?
What?
How many states have you lived in?
Well, not till I married your father. North Dakota was the only one.
Then it became.
Then it became a joke when I married your father. Every damn time I turned around, he wanted to move. We barely get the houses cleaned up and painted. Well, we're gonna leave. Finally told him, I said, I'm done. I'm not moving anymore. I says, every time I get the house painted and everything, you wanna move. That's what I don't know if you remember when he asked you if I would move back to California. He promised he would buy me a house.
Oh, from Oregon?
No,
No,
from
from-
North Dakota.
Oh.
We lived right across the street from Uncle Johnny and Aunt Eleanor.
So why would he wanna move so often?
His mother always called it itchy pants.
Oh.
And that scar he had on his cheek, his folks were gone. I think they were in town buying groceries. He went to get the cattle or do something. And when he was riding the horse stopped. And there went Tom, and the horse stepped on his cheek.
I always thought it was because it was a thunder and lightning storm and he ran under the tree. Oh.
No. He might have been wanting to go under the tree, but the horse had more sense than he did.
Yeah.
Cause they
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
not to go underneath.
I
Yeah.
knew the horse had stepped on his
Mhm.
face.
But I know they didn't get all the grass and stuff out. He always said they goes, not all the stuff is out of that.
Wow.
Cause he had a little lump in the back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Must've been pretty bad.
and one time, his mother told him to go get the cows for milk. He turned around and goes, go get them yourself.
Oh.
Oh my God, you didn't say that to
Well,
your parents
no.
back then.
God.
What happened to him?
What
Did
do
he
you
get thrown
think?
across the room?
Probably.
Just about.
You know, she had a habit of using a pen to beat him, to whip his ass, or to take a dish towel and snap it.
Yes.
Wow, and our kids think they got it bad.
Yeah.
Hell no, they don't know what it is to be bad.
So you guys lived with your parents for a while, right? No?
We moved straight in with his parents,
Oh, his parents.
but not, and I got a bedroom set and 4 cattle from my parents when we got married.
Oh, wow.
Looks like a dowry, huh?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
That's cool. 4 cattle.
And when they asked, when they knew wanted to get married, they paid your parents, they would shake hands on it and give them money. I think Dad gave him $20.
Wow.
Gave your dad $20?
Like they did in the Bible, the dowries.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
How old were you when you guys got married?
well, I thought I was 21, but since they got I'm actually not 83, I'm supposed to be 84.
Right.
But they've got my date screwed up of birth means I was born I know I was born in 34. But by the time Dad got up to Bismarck to register, it was 35.
Oh.
Because the lady that my dad married after Mom died, they had a son who was born the same year as I was. But I didn't argue with him. I said, whatever. Superintendent once says I'm that, I'm that.
Yeah.
And then in Southreach, of course, which our church is still a gorgeous church, even though it's falling apart. But the priest's house had burned down. So a lot of the records were
Oh,
gone, you know, from when I made my communion and all.
oh, yeah. And then you weren't born in a hospital, you were born at home?
Your dad was born, the only one that was born in a hospital.
Was
in
Dad?
Mandan, North Dakota. The rest were all born at home.
What about you?
Oh yeah, we were all born at home. In fact, I don't even remember if Titus was born in a hospital or not.
So that's why the birth certificate takes so long, cause it's not something that gets done immediately.
No, no. Cause back then, if you were born in the winter months, and you lived in South Dakota, and you gotta go all the way to Bismarck, North Dakota, don't work that fast.
Yeah.
Uncle Gus had a problem too, trying to get his birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he always said, I was never born, cause he couldn't get his birth certificate. And there, what was so sad there, because Aunt Rose was already, and she's the oldest one, she was already gone. You know, so they couldn't help her. She couldn't help them out. Was
Yeah.
she the oldest or was Phil? I can't remember now. But they too had two of the girls, cause there was more than just what there is now was when we got married. There was two other girls. And one of them died from pneumonia, and the other one died from diphtheria. I think one was 2 and one was 3, somewhere in there.
Dad's sisters.
And the twins of yours was a boy and a girl, or
2 boys.
2 boys?
2 boys. Yep.
Were they born premature?
Yeah, well, kind of premature, but you know, living out in the country at that time, they had incubators out there. They'd have probably lived, but
Right.
being she was on the farm,
Yeah.
way far away from a hospital, and at that time they didn't have the hospital in McIntosh, South Dakota, or Mobridge. So, which Selfridge could have had a hospital, could have had a courthouse. They fought it. They didn't want it.
Oh, really?
That's why it ended up in Fort Yates, North
Oh.
Dakota.
Hmm.
But you used to make a lot of trips across that river, because instead of going all the way around to go over to Strasburg, we'd go across the river in the winter months when it was frozen.
Oh,
Walk, how would you go across the river?
Drive.
So you wait for it to freeze and you drive across it?
Yep.
Oh, hell no.
yeah.
You do it all the time on TV.
That's right,
I
yeah.
don't care.
Was those ice road
The ice road
truckers?
trekkers, yeah.
Did you guys have a car?
No, the very first Chevy that I told you my dad was a Chevy man. So the one that Andy and Uncle Anton had their accident on the day they got married.
Oh.
They were going to town, and a guy was coming from town, raining like crazy, head-on collision. That's why she had them scars on her face,
Oh, wow.
because the front windshield broke.
Yeah.
So this was the day they got married, after they got married?
After they got married, we were down on the farm. They were going into town, and
Wow.
you just never know.
No.
No, you don't.
So when you guys would drive over there, how big was your car? Did you all get in one car?
Well, we didn't. They wouldn't take all of us with.
Oh.
The older girls had stay home and babysit,
Oh,
but I know I got to go a lot.
Were you spoiled like Dad? Dad
No.
told me he was spoiled as a
He
kid.
was a spoiled.
He was. He just told me how he'd get to go have ice cream and the other kids didn't.
Wow.
Oh, he was, because he was the baby.
Yeah. But he still got the pan.
yeah.
So, you know.
I still get a kick out of when he told me he baked the kids. Folks went to town. Of course, they always had to go to Mandan to buy groceries, cheaper. So they were gone, and he goes, I'm gonna bake a cake. Damn chickens. That's how bad it was. Or they were never supposed to go in the tank, the trough where the cows drank out. Man, there's folks that believe they would all jump in the,
Oh,
Go
my
swimming
lord.
in the tank. Oh, that's funny.
a lot of times they got caught, or put sugar on the floor. Oh my God, they did that one time when his folks, and his dad forgot his wallet. Man. And they were sliding around the kitchen.
Oh, so they put the sugar on the floor to slide on.
God.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you know, with 13 of them, you could imagine there was
Yeah.
always one of them.
Oh,
thinking
think of
of-
it.
Imagination,
Yeah.
oh jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, they would put sugar on the floor and slide around.
Good lord.
So your traditional dishes, did those come from your family, Dad's family, or just you?
My what?
Those are traditional dishes that you taught us, the borscht soup and all the käsekuchen and was that, both families ate that before you got married, or?
Oh, well, most of it. Now, shoot noodle, I had never ever heard of the shoot noodle. Dump noodle, yes,
Okay,
but not shoot noodle. I never heard of until I got married.
so that was from Dad's family,
And then I had to learn how to do that.
yeah. And the meatballs, I think, was your own creation.
That's my own creation.
Yeah, yeah, but the borscht soup was,
That, well, I've kind of adjusted it, done kind of different things to it. But originally, yeah, it came from my parents.
your parents, and Dad had borscht soup before you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
And the chicken noodle soup, of course, that was something my mom did. I think every weekend we had chicken noodle soup.
Mhm.
But we all loved it,
Yeah,
and it was freshly made.
yeah.
The only thing Dad, well, not Dad so much, Tommy, he ate tomatoes in soup. And when I make chicken noodle soup, I want tomatoes in it. And it's funny, Betty Lou's boyfriend Dave, because when I eat chicken noodle soup, I want to put cinnamon in it. 'Cause that's how I grew up.
mm-hmm,
Dave does the same thing.
Does
oh,
he?
yeah,
Betty goes, that's what he does. She goes, I can't believe it. I'm going, chicken noodle soup don't taste right without the cinnamon in it.
oh, that's
And
good.
cinnamon is so good for you. So,
And did the men ever help in the kitchen?
are you kidding?
Never.
That was a no-no.
Cause
they
even
would
for weddings, you just all the women got together and did
pretty
it.
much all, they would carry the heavy stuff in, but
Yeah.
as far as doing it. And you see those great big tubs, they're oval shaped. That's what we would make full of chicken noodle soup.
Oh, my lord.
Well, you didn't just have your family, their family.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yep, that's what we would make chicken noodle soup.
Jeez.
On the stove in the kitchen or?
Wood stove.
Wow.
Well, we would always, the Knights of Columbus rent their hall so that you had big enough place for everybody to sit and nice place to cook.
Oh, okay. So you had their big kitchen.
And
And
how
I
old
got-
were you when they started making you pluck the chickens?
What?
How old were you when they started making you pluck the chickens?
Probably 8,
Yeah,
because I didn't get to cook in the kitchen much. My chore was a damn stupid separator. Hated washing that thing. That had to be washed every day. And it has these, I don't know how many discs there are inside of it. Because when you separate it, it would separate the cream from the milk.
Mm.
mm-hmm.
But those discs had to be clean. That was always my chore.
How many cattle did you folks have?
Quite a few, because we used to milk like 15, 20 cows.
A day.
And then when we done separating, we'd take it into town, put it on the train, send it to Mandan, to the creamery. They'd send us a check and our cans back, and
Oh, that's cool.
oh yeah, they'd send us a check and the cans back, and fill them again and send them again.
So do you remember how much you you guys got for a gallon of milk or anything or?
Oh, I put them were 5 gallon, 10 gallon, 8
Oh.
gallon those big,
Mhm.
you know, so you never knew.
I didn't know you guys sold it.
Mm-mm.
I remember drinking it.
And now I
So good.
can't stand tasting milk.
No, cause it tastes like dirty water.
It tastes like something.
Yeah, cause it's not rich and thick like it was on the farm.
And then the other day you were telling me that you got Dad his first accordion.
Yeah. After we got married, he was a clarinet player when I met him. Played the clarinet. And then after we got married, we lived in Mandan. And I was a waitress. So I saved all of my tips. And I bought him his first accordion for $50.
Wow.
And as far as, he played everything by ear. Took 3 piano lessons, that was it. At his grandma's house up in St. Anthony, where he stayed when he went to school.
Oh.
But that's how he learned, where everything was by ear. He could hear a song or tune, and he'd sit down and learn it. He wouldn't give up till he learned it.
Yeah.
But did he say he wanted an accordion, or had he talked
No, I
about
just
it? or-
bought him one because
you
he
just said-
he was a musician.
Oh,
And
okay.
I loved music.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite things. I wished I'd learned to play.
Hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they ended up with, let's see, Phil played the clarinet, Mike played the clarinet, Gus played the saxophone, Tom played the whatever you gave him he could play. Johnny was the only one that never ever learned a musical instrument.
Oh, really? Did any of the girls?
Aunt Annie used to be a teacher. Annie Hutzenviller,
Yeah.
she used to be a teacher.
Oh.
Yep. But I'll never forget when your dad told me, Uncle Tony, of course he was a character, right? He come home one day and had pooped his,
No.
and his mom goes, "What happened?" "The dog did it." Crazy. And Uncle Gus finger, he found gun shells that hadn't gone off. So, they were on,
Oh, they were
Just like
hungry as
boys.
adults.
Yeah.
but they put them on top of the stove. Well, they wouldn't go off and wouldn't go off. So he thought, "Oh, I'm gonna take them out." About the time he went to reach for them, they went off. And that's why he had no fingers.
Why were they doing? I wonder why they would have done it in the kitchen.
They did it at school.
Oh, they did it at
They
school.
did it, they found them at the school, cause school was only maybe a mile and a half from their house, they would walk.
Wow.
And they found him, I guess, in the yard. They wanted to see if it would explode. The teacher wouldn't.
I was gonna say, the teacher would probably
yeah.
go, God, here come the Schmidt boys.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's probably what God said.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, here come the Schmidt boys.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then Uncle Gus ended up playing drums too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was always so cool. It's kind of sad our grandkids don't really
Mhm.
experience that.
Yeah.
You know, those gatherings with the music and everything.
All the cousins getting together.
Yeah.
Because when we lived in Ukaipa, I remember getting together at the 7th Street Park a lot with all the family and
Right.
cousins and stuff. It seems to me.
And when we lived on Mountain View, we used to have a gathering every weekend till I
Mhm.
finally said, "That's it, I'm done."
Yeah,
'Cause I was always cooking.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody would bring anything, but I ended up doing, and I said, "I'm done with it, I'm not gonna." That's when Raymond Claudia never came over anymore.
Oh.
He's been, after Dad died, he goes, "I'll come over and we'll go have coffee." Been over there once. And that was when Mark and Sharon were there. We all went out to breakfast and he ended up,
Oh.
"Oh, well."
I'm kind
Whatever.
of surprised no one brought, because that just seems your guys' growing up would be that everybody would
Mhm.
contribute.
Not when it was at my house. We ended up furnishing the food and the beer.
Hmm.
Just like going out on the boat. Every damn Saturday we'd go out on the boat after Dad got in. Oh yeah, Mother would cook everything, get everything ready for. One day I looked at everybody and I'm not going. Why? Because I'm sick and tired of loading the boat, unloading the boat, cooking the food. You guys don't help? Goodbye. Go. And I wouldn't go anymore. I was stubborn. I had to be.
Was,
I was gonna say, you still are.
Sometimes I have to be.
It's that German in her.
I
Yes,
think so.
yes, definitely. Now, you were saying earlier that Dad went to his grandmother's house when he went to school.
Yeah, if in the winter months. When it
Oh.
snowed, he would go up and stay with her while, and go to school up there.
Oh, okay, so the school was far enough to where the
Well,
snow.
yeah, there, but when he first started, there too, he couldn't speak one word of English. So the first day he went to school and cried all day, cause he couldn't speak English.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, cause when they came over, they spoke more German than we did. My parents wanted us to know English, but his evidently, because he said when he first started school, he cried all day the first day because he couldn't talk English.
Oh my gosh.
And they talked that way until the end. They,
Yeah, I remember that.
More German than,
Hmm.
Especially when you guys all got together, it was
Yeah.
all German. The only time they spoke English is when they were talking to us kids, cause we didn't know German. I remember that.
Now, did Char know German when she was little? No?
well, I told her the other day, I need to teach Leah and Alana how to say the numbers in German. Cause I'm the only one that's left that's around.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can always YouTube and find out, just like the beer cooler.
Mm-hmm.
She found that on the YouTube. And the Heener story.
Oh,
Yeah.
for the chicken house, the
Right.
hen house.
And like they have it is Himmel, mother's Mutter, father's Vater, and kids is Kinder.
And cat is Kotz. It's one word I know.
Cow is Kua.
Cat is Hua.
It's good to know the words, I mean, even if you,
Yeah. Well, and like we were talking too, the dialect is different. So to learn from you, we get to know the dialect
Right.
that it is.
So count.
Angst war 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Did she say farts in there?
I remember eins, zwei, drei,
Yeah.
and that's as far as I can get.
Hoopla! That's a song.
I used to know
Yeah.
it up to 10. But I don't
Angst war 3, 4,
remember. 4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Helva? Did you say Helva?
Helva is Heuba,
Olva.
almost the same as German.
Yeah.
But I think the kids should learn the numbers
Mm-hmm.
and not tell, or, cause you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, but not do that. And stand in front of Amber and Steve.
And do it.
That would be funny.
Like us
But
doing
yeah, I
the
can
switch.
see
So-
Lana and I can't.
I don't know about that. So when they go to, on their trip in May and we have them for 2 weeks, we'll teach them so when they come
Ah.
back, they can talk German to them.
That'll be good. Yeah.
I think that is so nice that they're going to Switzerland and Germany and
That is cool.
London.
And that they're doing it with backpacks.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Raymond and Claudia were, you, Munich, Germany.
Mm.
And he said that's really something to see, especially when they have their beer fest.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. In October for the Oktoberfest. What are the months in German, do you remember?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
Probably not. There's a lot, like I say, I don't know.
Yeah, when you don't use it.
Exactly, you forget it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Did you guys have bathrooms? Or did you have to go to the outhouse?
We had to go to the outhouse till the last house we lived in.
Oh, okay.
We had a bathroom in there with a tub and toilet.
Nice.
Well, our windmill wasn't that far away, so they piped the water in.
Was that the big yellow one?
Hmm. And our smokehouse, where we smoked our sausage and stuff in, was right beside the house.
Mm-hmm.
We cooked with propane, great big container,
Oh.
not the little one, because that took forever.
Yeah.
And of course, we had our ice box.
With ice? Where you had to put ice in it?
Yep. And our first refrigerators were all propane,
Really?
with propane, yep.
Wow. So did you have you didn't have a hot water heater, did you? Or did you have to how'd you boil your water to get hot water?
We had, there too, you know, the big wash tubs,
Uh-huh.
when it was time to take a bath, we had a thing that you could put into it, and in no time your water was boiling.
Oh. Oh.
Cause we had electricity,
Mm-hmm.
we had, I don't know, how many batteries we had downstairs. And we had one, like them ones down by Palm Springs, the windmill,
Oh,
we had one of them,
Oh,
and it
okay.
would charge the batteries.
Oh.
So we'd have electricity.
So that's cool.
We also had, like you girls have the electric curling iron, we had to stick ours in top of a lamp to get it off, curl off. The first perm, you put your roll in and you would put foil on it, and then it was like a wave clip. You would put on and it would steam like crazy. You had to leave it on for so long, then you could take it off.
Oh my lord.
That's how you get.
Jeez. That sounds kind of scary.
so was it it was a hot steam, it was a hot thing that the
Yeah,
clip would
the-
get hot?
The foil, whatever there was in the foil, would get hot from two metals touching.
So it was special foil?
What?
Was it special foil? A certain kind of
And,
foil?
yeah, you gotta use it with the firm.
Huh.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Glad we don't do that.
Yeah. Electric to your head.
Like I say, there was none of this fancy crap back then. I remember that, putting that curling iron in the, you had to be careful so you didn't break the chimney. Let it get good and warm, then you could go ahead and curl your hair.
Oh my goodness.
Now during the winter, if you had to go to the bathroom out at the outhouse, did you have to get dressed all up and?
Depends on you if you wanted to or not. Or if it was raining out or snowing out or colder than hell. Oh yes. And like they show on Alaska's Last Frontier, your hole gets full, you gotta dig a new.
And move the outhouse.
Yep.
Gosh.
Did you have natural curly hair as a kid? Did you have natural curly hair?
Little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit.
Did Dad?
Are you kidding? Dad lost his hair when he was 17 years old.
Well, I know.
By the time I met him, he was bald.
Yeah, but he could have still had because Joe had curly hair and he lost his hair by the time he was 18 or so.
I don't know.
I'm just wondering where it came from.
Well, I think on my
And who had the red hair in your guys' family? You, your
I
dads?
had an uncle that had
Uncle Frank had red hair, didn't he?
kinda,
Yeah.
I think Uncle Phillips's kids were the reddest.
So none of your brothers or sisters, and none of dad's?
I don't know, you know,
Must've been the metal that went through their bodies
I
and
guess.
into our heads.
Do that.
from the perms.
Yeah.
I've seen those machines.
Have you?
Oh yeah, they are scary. Now, you make it sound though that it was just the clamp,
At first it was just
the
clamp.
clamp, and then it became clamps hooked up to
Oh.
cords that were hooked to a machine, so you couldn't move around. Those things were, and I remember a customer telling me about it, and she said there was an earthquake and everybody ran out of the beauty salon and left her,
Oh my lord.
because she was hooked up to one of those perm machines. I've seen the machines. They look like Chinese torture.
It's like
Now
somebody's
that
seen
you
it
look
like a,
like you're from outer space.
Huh?
Yes.
a scary movie with the
You look
they're
like
making,
you're
like,
from outer
Bride of
Yeah.
Dracula or Bride of Frankenstein or
It looks
something
like you're
that.
an alien
Shoot.
bride. Yeah, they're
Did anybody ever burn their hair off with it, or did it not get
Not
that?
yet.
Usually, some of them will get their scalps burned.
Right.
Wow.
You might burn your hair off, but your scalp would get burned.
Jeez.
Especially with the thing that you put in the chimney of the lamp.
Yeah,
You had to be careful so it didn't get too damn hot.
yeah, because those were all metal.
Wow.
I don't know if I still have one.
Was it heavy? Was your curling iron heavy?
No.
No, yeah, I've had. In fact, when I did my test for my beauty, for my license, cosmetology license, we had to use one of those to show that we know how.
Oh wow.
Only then it was a little metal oven.
Oh.
So you don't remember that, Mom? Because
No.
you were my model. So we had this little metal oven. You had to stick it in there. You didn't use it on them, but you had to take, you have those neck wrap things that I never used, and you had to take the curling iron and you had to use it and show them that you could use it without burning it.
Oh wow.
Yes, and I
Wow.
had some hanging up on my hair salon, and I'm pretty sure I kept that stuff, the old stuff. So I know
Just
exactly
like
what
So
you're
was
iron.
it
talking
like
about.
Huh?
There was
the
those
iron set in
things
there
that
got hot and you
electric
take it out and
I'm sorry, Mom. What?
The
it's like a
irons?
big metal
Uh-huh.
hot.
You had to set them on the
Tiny,
stove.
tiny little
get 'em
metal.
hot.
It's probably
Yeah.
smaller
Oh.
than this finger.
Then you had a
Yeah.
handle that
And
clicked
then
into them. Then you went and
You
you
open
wanted to
them.
make damn
There's
sure you
like,
didn't
little,
scorch your
no
clothes
spring.
either.
No spring.
And
Oh,
those
okay.
were heavy,
Yeah.
right?
Close by hand.
Some of those were
To
very
help
heavy.
press to
I'll find it and
close.
show you guys.
Yep, and we always had to, especially the starch clothes, you had to sprinkle them with water and roll them, and then wrap them in a towel. You wanna make damn sure you get them ironed before they get moldy.
I remember that.
I was just gonna say, I remember having to do
Yeah,
that.
with the bottle with the sprinkle
Mhm.
head on.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yep.
I
I
remember that.
remember my mom doing that, yeah, like a little,
Sheets.
like a salt shaker sort of.
Right,
yeah.
Whatever, just sprinkled water and,
Iron sheets. I
Oh.
remember iron sheets.
I think we ironed everything but shorts.
I think you did.
Now we iron nothing.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yes.
I agree. 'Cause that was always the biggest chore,
Oh, I still hate it.
especially with 6 kids. The amount of ironing was daunting.
Now, you guys all went to church at one time when you were kids? No.
Not necessarily.
'Cause of the
Depends how
distance.
bad the weather was.
Yeah.
And then we had the sled with the horses and a bunch of blankets that you could cover up with.
So did all of you go at once ever, or was it just
I
too much?
don't ever remember all of us going. Maybe at Christmas time and Easter time, but other than that,
You couldn't all go
and
at the
I
same
would
time.
cry if I didn't get to church on Sunday. It was terrible.
And were you ever ornery and not listen to your parents?
You know where I'd be right now?
alright,
That's true.
moving on.
That's right.
You didn't dare do anything like these kids do nowadays.
Yep.
we'd have talked back to our parents like some of these kids, we'd probably still be.
Who was the disciplinarian, your mom or your dad?
My dad was more than my mother.
Really?
Oh yeah, Dad was more so than Mom.
Not with the grandkids, huh, Daisy? Cause I don't remember him ever getting mad.
Oh no. By then he was over everything.
Huh?
By then he was over
That's
everything.
true, they usually are. Yeah.
Now, I remember Grandma Schmidt as being the most stern.
Yes.
That's who I remember being the most stern when we were around him.
Well, yeah, Grandpa Schmidt wouldn't even touch a fly.
Yeah.
But I mean, out of all the grandparents, I just remember Grandma Schmidt being the most. When you went to her house,
You had to sit or else.
you knew the rules and you would obey them.
Oh yes.
And the difference when you went to your parents, Grandma and Grandpa Silver and Uncle, is that you knew the rules, but you knew they weren't gonna knock you into next week.
Oh, Grandma
bend 'em.
Schmidt had, that's why her
Mhm.
girls were so bad. She had to have everything
I
perfect.
remember we couldn't touch the doilies on the couch.
No.
Mm.
That's the one thing I remember is couldn't touch the doilies. Where your folks, we could go outside, cause you lived on the farm. There was a lot to do, but in the house too. Cause I was telling them, that's how I learned to play Jim Rummy, was with Grandpa Silverknuckle, right at the bottom of the
And he
stairs
loved
with the
that.
stove. There was a I could still see it, the chair, a
Uh-huh.
stove and a little table, and I sat there and he taught me how to play.
How old were you, do you remember?
I was in grade school. I was little,
Yeah, because
Probably 8.
maybe, something like that.
But Grandpa Silvernagle loved playing cards. He didn't care what kind it was, as long as it was cards. And they usually had company on Sunday, and that all day. Play cards, then have dinner. And your company would go home.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you, when you and Dad were dating, or when you first got married, did you decide how many kids you were gonna have, or
Hell no.
just whenever, however many kids
Or
you
they'd have
had?
stopped after me, hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause you're
because
so
you're such a
ornery.
pain in the ass.
Can't be perfection, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she's so perfect, they kept trying.
We gotta get it one more time, we gotta get it right.
I think it's just then birth control wasn't a thing.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
Well,
There
that's
was
just
no such
how it
thing.
was.
yeah. You just had the kids you had, yeah.
It's just that they had more kids then than what people have nowadays.
Yeah,
Just like Aunt Helen, she's got 15 kids.
right.
Yeah.
And she's
You know the saying,
in her 90s,
keep
right?
pregnant and barefoot.
Yep.
But that was kind of like, because you needed,
Farm hands.
you needed help
Right.
working the farm and working back
She
then
had
when
twins,
she
too.
had,
Aunt Helen?
Aunt Helen had a set of twins.
Yeah.
One is a good kid, the other one ain't.
Well,
Didn't
yes,
she have
he's
two
just-
sets of twins? Aunt Helen, did she have two sets of twins?
Mm-mm, just the
Oh.
one. And the one that's not, he's bad, he's just a boy who likes to drink. He
And
had a
Aunt
rough-
Agnes had a set of twins. Cause then my mother had a set of twins. And of course, Tom's parents had a set of twins. We never, thank God we didn't.
We lucked out then too.
Yeah. I remember Bill Gann telling me one time that one of us, if we would've had more kids, probably would've had
So,
a set of twins, yeah,
you guys always talked about it, yeah, it's like,
yeah.
it was back before they had
I had an aunt that had
sonograms and all that stuff.
Oh, did
You didn't
You
know
didn't know.
until,
Tackle.
like, you might have twins, you might have, who knows?
Wow. Yeah.
Well, and Marilyn had twins,
Yeah. Amber and
Tony,
Tommy, Domi.
he's the one that's struggling.
Mm.
No, I know.
Yeah, and Helen was telling me he's looking for his dad. They don't know if they're dead or alive. And if he's dead or alive, and he wants to just see why he never saw him. He was 3 months old when Marilyn left, and Hasn't seen his dad since. And I guess he's just all of a sudden, so he's on Ancestry.com. And, trying to find his dad.
Contact that show.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be a good reunion though.
I don't either.
It would not be good.
With the real dad? Is he still alive? Who knows?
They don't know.
He was kinda like John Wintello, he was like a,
Yeah, but he was
he was
mean.
like he was pretty rough.
He was meaner than John.
Well, yeah,
He was bad.
yeah, he was.
Bad news. Anyway, on to happier talk.
Did you guys have any pets, Mom?
Outside,
So just cows and
None of
chickens
this
and
shit,
pigs
right?
they weren't allowed in the house.
You had Sandy
They
when I
had to
met
sleep
you.
in the barn.
Not when she was a kid.
No, when she
Oh, when
was
she
a
was,
kid.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
They had, and they were, God knows what kind of breed,
Yeah.
but they had to sleep in the barn with the cows.
Probably
But
cats.
the barn was always warm because there were so many cows in there, their breath would keep them.
The
Oh
regular
my
gas.
gosh.
Yeah, so you were contributing
Well,
to
and you
global
know,
warming.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah,
They
see?
say cows are one of the biggest,
Yeah,
if you listen to the.
Yep,
the nutty people,
Yeah. Yep.
the crazy people.
It's all because of the cows.
Did you ever have a tornado when you were there?
not that I know of. But I know the boys would always go out rabbit hunting.
They'd always what?
Rabbit,
I'll let you say that.
Go rabbit hunting.
that's why I like rabbit.
I don't think I've ever had rabbit, have you?
Well, Mom used to try and trick me and say it was chicken. I said, there ain't no chicken that small.
Rabbits get kinda big.
What? I didn't hear what she was
You used to put rabbit on the table and try to tell me it was chicken. I'd say, there's no chicken that small. Those bones are too small for a chicken. And I knew because he used to make me pluck the damn things and chop them and all that other stuff. I love telling Braden and Devin about that. I used to, Mom, how when I was a kid on the farm, and you have to, we had to help with the chickens and that kind of stuff. Braden wants the facts. So, oh yeah, so how did you kill them?
cut their head, cut their head off with a knife.
I said, well, you just kind of pet them so they didn't know it was coming, and then you break their neck. But I do remember having to do that.
I do too,
remember.
that's why I don't eat dark meat. That grosses me out.
Oh,
What's
wow.
the difference?
Cause that's where all the veins and crap are.
That's why, though, after you cut their head off, you let them jump so that they bleed out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why nowadays, when you buy chicken, a lot of them have the vein full of blood, but they don't let them jump out the.
So that's probably where the saying came running around like a chicken with their head cut off.
Exactly.
You don't remember?
And the same way with the pigs. You shot them, but the minute you did, you cut their throats so they bleed out.
If you watch Mountain Men, you would know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would know.
Yes, I learned it in
Or
high
even
school, too.
Alaska, the frontier, she would.
Yeah.
In 4-H, I learned it in high school, that they shoot them between the heads so that they bleed out. So the heart's
Exactly.
still going.
Yep.
Pump it all out.
You know, that was heaven day when we butchered. Because we would take the kidneys, the heart, the liver, unless they made liver sausage. They made liver sausage, they kept the liver. But otherwise, everything else was cut up. My mother would always say, well, you gotta boil the piss out of the kidneys first. And when I married
Literally.
Dad, he
Okay.
had never ever eaten kidney, ever. So of course we went down the farm, folks were butchering, doing the butchering for the winter. And like I say, my mother would take everything and mix it together. Well, that day she used kidneys. So I didn't say anything, I just let them eat away. And on the way home I said, well, do you like that? You go, oh, that was, I said, do you know what you ate? Yeah, I didn't even name it. I said, yeah, you also ate kidneys. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. After that, I had no problem feeding him kidneys.
Wow.
Mhm.
So did he pretty much try anything you put out for him?
Pretty much. Cause like I say, back then, you either ate what was put on the table, you starved to death.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So like your fried chicken, did you learn that from your mom? Or did you just kind of learn
I
over
just
the
kinda
years?
did over and recipes, cause like I say, I never got to cook in the kitchen. They had to do the outside chores.
Is that because there wasn't enough boys in your age group?
Well, in the summer months, you know, they were out in the field. So, and usually in the winter months, your cattle don't give milk, just like chickens don't lay that many eggs. Cattle don't give that much milk.
Mm.
Hmm.
Interesting. So is it just cows, chickens, and dogs,
Pigs.
pigs?
Dogs.
Well, she said they did have dogs, they just had to sleep in the
And
barn.
you didn't buy butter.
No,
You
you
made
get
your
your
own butter. Sat on the farm, turned the clapper until it was butter.
Wow. Hmm. That's it, huh?
I do too.
Are we gonna do it all again?